CBS Radio. This is Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio.
Mr. Alexander, your character Cylk.
Yes.
You've met him. He's still around.
Absolutely, boy, is he around. I mean, he's a fireman without external fire. You see it in his eyes and you feel it in his soul. He's more or less from the Martin Luther King Jr. type energy when it came to confrontation. He didn't yell, he didn't, curse. He called people by their last names, no matter what age they were. Very, very smart and practical human being that went through everything. Very classy.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Very appropriate.
And the opportunity, when Dexter gave me this opportunity to play this character, you got to understand, I love athletics and I love education, and when you get a chance to blend those two, I don't get in Hollywood. You either or, one or the other, and with me, White Man Can't Jump was such a big film that it's easy to be stereotyped or typecast into just sports roles, and then occasionally something like Conspiracy Theory comes along, you play an FBI agent, then you're stereotyped. Then I got all roles offered to me to play an FBI agent. And I was like,
probably have a number of blue suits in your wardrobe at home.
How'd you know that?
Well, it could have been worse. You could have been the understudy for Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, no!
Hey, I had a chance to meet him in L.A., as a matter of fact.
I met him. I actually met him in a restroom once, but that's for a different show.
All right, KatyNation After Dark.
I didn't mean it that way, people.
Yeah, well, that's how it was took.
Cylk, in terms of your background, you mentioned the White Men Can't Jump.
Yes.
What was it like working with those guys? Woody Harrelson.
Faith.
What was all of that like?
First of all, the process of making any movie, I'm in love with, and with a filmmaker, writer, director, producer like Ron Shelton, who wrote Bull Durham, was probably the best sports film I think ever. When he cast me as the lead, but no one knew who I was at that time. 20th Century Fox said, no. So then Wesley Snipes had just done a movie called New Jack City, and they told Ron, put Wesley in the lead role and put Cylk in a co-starring role. And Ron fought for that, so that made me understand how the studio system works, as opposed to an independent film where you can call all the shots. You don't have a studio breathing down your neck.
You have more control that way.
Right. And Woody Harrelson and I are like great friends to this day. He's one of my best friends in life, and you better believe I'm going to call him to let him know about this project.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be exciting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned, you talk about the films. You've got the White Men Can't Jump. Talk briefly about Conspiracy Theory. Julia Roberts, Mel Gibson.
Well, it stops right there. Julia Roberts, that's all you got to say. I mean, she's one of the most phenomenal people. Forget actors. She's a great human being. She's from Smyrna, Georgia. She's a country girl. I'm from Tennessee, so we had a lot to talk about. When you're on a set, no matter how much time you spend on a set, you become like family with people. We spent 6 months filming Conspiracy Theory, and Mel Gibson was absolutely wonderful. He is a giving actor. No matter what's going on in his personal life, I loved him, and he treated me with the utmost respect. I know him, his family. He's been in my house, I've been in his house. But Julia is one of those giving actors that is so unselfish. Most actors, especially at that level, or it's all about them usually. In fact, she told Dick Donner, our director, who he did all the Lethal Weapon series and Maverick and he did Superman. The Omen.
The real Superman.
Yeah, the real Superman with Christopher Reeve. There was one scene, I don't know if whoever's seen the movie, there's a scene where Julia is behind me and she has the gun on me and she says, "Who's the deputy director of the FBI?" And you find out I'm not really who you think I am. Yep. Yeah, and it was just going to be a basic over-the-shoulder scene, over my shoulder, over her shoulder. She stopped right there in rehearsal and said, to Dick Donner, she goes, "Dick, wouldn't it be kind of cool if the camera was in front of Cylk and I was behind him and we could be on camera at the same time?" And everybody stopped. Like, I was thinking, can I really
She is
say
looking out for you.
How about
She was looking out for the scene.
That's the type of person
she was looking out for the scene. She thought that would make the scene more interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, and And it's okay. Dick Donner is so secure, and that's what I liked about Dexter. He's secure within himself to take, advice, suggestions, and not like, I'm the director and I'm the only one that's going to say. I don't want to work with people like that.
Right.
They're not open. He's very open, and so that ended up being one of the coolest scenes in the film.
I guess it's a good thing that Hitchcock's not around anymore because I can't see. I mean, Alfred. Alfred.
Did you see that?
Alfred. Oh, you see it once.
Yeah, right. He's
on
never
the cutting room floor. That's where you'd see it.
Yes.
So, in terms of your background, one more question about your background, because the listeners that are out there, I have to bring this up.
Sure.
Insomniac was channel surfing, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
You know what's coming.
Oh, no.
I flipped on, it's an episode of Saved by the Bell, and I'm like, holy cow, it's Cylk Cozart.
Righty.
So tell me about working on Saved by the Bell, which is arguably, at the time, it was the most popular tweener show.
Yeah. Well, ironically, and I didn't realize just how big TV was until, that episode aired. For me, I would be walking down the street in New York, and more people would say, hey, I loved you on Saved by the Bell, this drill sergeant, the ROTs. I'm like, I just had a movie that just made $100 million. And they see Saved by the Bell or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm like, wow. So the power of TV.
Yeah, you can't argue with the public.
No, you can't. Yeah. And it's all good. It's all related. That's why I hate to hear actors say, well, I don't do TV that much. That was in the 80s. Now they're like, can you please put me on a TV show?
Nice.
Tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.